Hey, this is Orionsangel, and this is a continuation, or rather update, to my last tutorial about adding my realistic arcade bezels to Retroarch. So let's talk about realistic arcade bezels and adding them to Retroarch, and an update of everything I've been doing since I last made that video. So what I've been doing is converting all my bezels to work on Retroarch, and I've also been, some of them I've been updating. So right now, let me just open up a random bezel. I'm going to open up Congo Bongo. So here we are. You can see now it's on Retroarch. So now last time I was talking about video settings and how you had to go back and forth if you wanted to see the bezel while you're in the menu, but a lot of people informed me you didn't have to do that. You can actually see the bezel. Well, actually you would have to change the opacity. We'll change it to 25 here. See, you can see it, so that's cool. I'm glad to know that that's a thing you can do. So moving right along, one of the advantages of using Retroarch is the games look a lot better. They run a lot better, and you don't have to always reset the size of the screen. It's all set. So let me show you some games. Obviously now, for example, some games now actually look much better, like Virtua Racing now looks nicer. This is one that looked really bad on regular MAME.
Select course by wheel and step on gas pedal.
3, 2, 1, go!
So as you can see, it looks a lot better than it would on regular MAME. You can't exactly make the screen look, you know, you can't adjust the screen as much as you can on MAME with the shader I'm using, which is CRT Yom, but it definitely has a lot of better options here, like sharpening and interlacing, which I'll explain a little later how it helps out. And basically, I still like to use a screen overlay over the game. I know some of you guys don't like it because it doesn't make the game look as bright, but without the screen overlay, like that monitor effect of like being a dirty screen over, even though I've lightened it a lot, it makes it look more authentic that there's an actual type of monitor layer over the screen, where when you take it completely off, it just looks totally, it doesn't look like it's part of the bezel to me anyway. It looks too bright, too colorful, but that's a personal thing. So I'm going to show you some of the bezels I updated here. Actually, to every single bezel I did like a little thing to it, like little details I added that were missing. But let me see what game. I updated Berserk a little bit, just a little bit. This one I didn't do much to. So for this game, I added some, you can see here, some the inner, I don't know what you would call this, but it's like the dirt. I don't know if it's dirt or the crevices inside the machine. That was added to almost every single bezel that I added to Retroarch. What other one did I update? Oh, I overhauled Jungle Hunt and Jungle King. These look terrible, so I had to really upgrade them. So as you can see, this one looks a lot better now, more colorful. Added that thing I told you earlier, the inner, I don't know if you would call it inner dirt or whatever it's called, inside the corners. I also fixed Jungle Hunt. I didn't like the way that one looked either. This one looks a lot nicer now, more clean. Kung Fu Master was fixed. Now this is a great example. The screen looks absolutely terrible on regular MAME, but on the MAME 2014 core here on Retroarch, it looks awesome. Now it looks more colorful. You can see the game, it's sharp. I'm starting to think that I'm not going to make bezels anymore for regular MAME. I'm just going to make bezels for Retroarch, because I just don't like the way they look on MAME, the games, and I don't like the fact that you can't save the settings for the screen, and it's a pain. Here's a good example. This game looks awful, Kangaroo, on MAME, but now look how it looks here. See? Much better. Now, this is something I wanted to show you. Here's something that can happen sometimes with certain games. I'm going to go to the shaders, and I'm going to show you what I mean. What did I do? Oh yeah, here, the interlacing. Watch what happens when it's on. By default, it'll be on 1. See what happens? It's flickering. But once you set it like this to 5, it gets fixed. Now few games will do that, not many, but some will have that issue. And that's how you fix it if you find yourself having that problem. One thing you have to remember is the shaders and the overrides are apart from each other. So whatever you do in shaders, you have to go to save, and you have to go to save game preset for this content. You want to save it just for this. It's important, because if you don't do that, it won't save what you did to the screen. Then in overrides, you're going to want to go to the third one, which is for this particular game. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to do like a current save, or you don't want to mistakenly have all the games have the same bezel, you know what I mean? So moving right along, well yeah, I redid Wizard of War was also one. I have a lot of memories of playing this on the Atari 5200. I remember particularly about the game that you had to, for some strange reason, in order to play as the first player, you had to put the controller in the second port. I have no idea why it was like that. But the Atari 5200 was a really faithful port of this game. Sorry if you can't hear me, the game's on. Tron is another example. This looks awful on the screen's, you know, the screen's tiny regardless, but at least you can see now more detail. And I think I cleaned up the Street Fighter 2 one. I also changed the T-molding, the yellow T-molding on the side, so it looks more realistic.
Round 1, fight!
Oh, I remade Ninja Baseball Batman because it was not looking good, so I had to redo it. This is another one. I cleaned it up more. I changed the T moldings on the side completely. This is a great game. One day I started playing and I just couldn't stop. I ended up beating it. It's a good one. Which other one? Oh, I know which one. Smash, Super Smash, Smash TV. That one. I completely remade this bezel. I like the way it came out. This one. I just redid the whole thing completely. The T molds on their side are actually from an actual Smash TV cabinet, so that's pretty authentic.
Bingo!
Bingo! Hey!
Yeah!
It's hard to control this game with a gamepad. Which other one did I do? Mappy. I think I redid the moldings on Mappy. Oh, Karate Champ. I completely remade that one too, or fixed it up. This is another one. This is another game that just looks terrible on regular MAME, and here it looks really nice. Screen. This game will always remind me of Bloodsport, because there's a scene where they play this game, and Van Damme keeps winning. I showed Joust, Gyrus. Oh, Gorf. That one I also remade. I use the same moldings on the side because they're from an actual Gorf machine, but the overlay, I remade it. I redid it because it looked really bad, the other one. This game's interesting because the space rank is actually part of the game, and what would have to be done is I would have to put the overlay over the space rank and use transparency so it would actually light up like it's supposed to. Right now it's hidden. See? Whoa! I might do that in a future date. I'm not sure. So, what else? I don't think I did anything to Midnight Resistance. Sinistar. I Hunger. Swimmer. I think I just made more colorful. Zookeeper. Tetris. Spider-Man. I think I made a Street Fighter 2 Championship. The T molding is a little bit more defined now. You can see it a little better, where before it was kind of blending in. This is one of the few ones where I didn't add the little line crevices, you know, the dirt in the corners, because it just didn't work with it. Aesthetically, the way it looks now, it just works. Oh, I think did I do anything to Super PAC Man? Where is... Wait, Pac-Mania. Did I not add Super Pac Man? Wait, I'm pretty sure I added Super Pac Man. There's Super Pac Man. Oh, I messed up. I was supposed to put Retroarch here. I need this to be here because I made a playlist so it knows that it's there. See? I made a playlist called Retroarch so I can keep track of all the ones I've added to Retroarch. Because you can see I have all categories here: fighting, hack and slash. Okay, now it should be here. Super Pac Man. Where is it? Oh, here it is. I think I made these more. The side panels are a little bit more defined, but it's not the prettiest looking T-moldings, but it's so hard to find the T-moldings for this game. I never could get into that game. I don't know why. Ghostbusters. I think I said it earlier. I replaced the screen because it was too dark. This one came out nice. For some of these bezels, I really have to mess with the artwork bezel just to get this, just so the screen isn't so tiny, believe it or not. I know the screens can be small, but they would be even smaller if I didn't do what I was doing. Some of the screens have to be really like warped or changed. Oh, elevator action's a great example again of this game looks terrible on MAME. And now here it looks nice, see? It's clear looking, it's more colorful, it's not blurry. It opens up and you already have the settings. Now that's the thing about this, I had to go through each one and set each screen size so you can imagine. But as long as you save override and go to saves override configuration file, which will apply for the current content only, will take precedence over the main configuration. So it'll only apply to this one particular game. Now let me go to, all that is being saved here in Retroarch where it says MAME 2014. Now assuming I release these in a pack and I include this to the for the configure file, if you download it and you add this to your configure, all the settings should be set for you guys when you download it. Now I'm just, in theory that's what should happen. I don't know why it wouldn't, but oh, one thing I forgot to mention is for example, earlier I showed Kangaroo, and you might have noticed it didn't look good on video or on YouTube, but believe me, in person it looks really good. There's just something going on with the recording and the screen that makes it look bad. It actually looks good. You'll see for yourself when you play it. Another issue I'm having is with games like Zaxxon that need audio samples. There's no audio when the game runs on Retroarch. Now, from what I read online, you can add the samples by going to cores, going to system, putting the name of the core, then samples, but that didn't do anything. So, I don't know. Maybe it has to be a different MAME core, I'm not sure. Now, another bezel I've wanted to fix for a long time was the Spyhunter one. I never had a good time making this bezel. I've tried to remake it several times. I never liked the way it came out. Also, the game runs terrible on MAME, and it has garbled sound and hissing, and it's just terrible. Not here though. On this MAME core, it runs fantastic, the game, and I think this bezel came out really nice. And I especially like the T-molding. Let's see what you guys think. Look at that shine. It looks beautiful. This is another game that would benefit from transparency so that the things would really light up on the bottom, but you would have to match them up perfectly, and that would not be easy. Now you can also, I've also have some alternates, of course. You can add the just the regular plain old one, or you can also add, wait, what am I doing? You can also add the controllers at the bottom if you want. It's up to you. And I also included it in the red one. Which, like that, it looks really nice. Or it looks more realistic with the controller in front. So yeah, that's Spyhunter. Another benefit is bezels that have lowered screens or screens that are too high. You know what happens in regular MAME, the screen doesn't whenever you lower the screen, it doesn't fit well unless you do unless you know how to fix that, which I know some people who do, but for me it's just much easier to just be able to center the screen anywhere I like, and MAME lets you do that. Or should I say Retroarch lets you do that. This is one of these midway games where you have to press F3 to restart or the game doesn't work. Or start up rather. Say no to drugs. Hey man, it's the narcs! Oh yeah, but of course F3 on Retroarch shows the frames per second on the top right corner. So I have to press it again to get rid of that. I could go in the settings and change all that, but...
Oh no, the knife, man!
511 in progress.
Let's go!
I'm not sure how good these games are looking on the video, but in person they look awesome. This might actually be a game that's going to benefit from that fix I showed you earlier. This. See, now it looks better. I'll put this up to 50. Get rid of the lines. That looks nice.
Please!
I don't know how good it's gonna look on, but in person it looks awesome. I still have to add more. I think how many have I added? I think I've added 88. I still need to add more. I think when it reaches 100, I'll release it as like the first pack, so you can use them with Retroarch. Oh, I did. Okay, one last thing. I fixed. I made Disc of Tron. This one was a little difficult to add here, but I changed the T moldings on the side. But this is one on bezel I really think came out nice. I love the gloss on the overlay. thing takes a little while to start. I think you can play this game with the mouse, I don't remember. But yeah, that came out nice. And okay, let's move on to, this was a little bit of a pain. The Sega Naomi Bezels, yes, Bezels, and the Sammy Adam's Wave, I don't know how do you pronounce it. But this was hard because they're both running on the same core. So anything you do to the core will affect, for example, if I touch the shader or I touch anything, it'll be for both cores. If I change screens, so what I had to do was, first I did the Naomi ones, and that was easy because since the bezel's just one bezel, I just made it all look, I just saved the core. I just saved it so the core would open up all the Naomi ones. So they're all open up the same or are associated with it. So for example, see, they'll all open up, right, see the Raycast core is associated to all of these. But now of course the Sammy one is also on the Raycast, so I couldn't do an overall save on, because then it would make, which happened to me, I accidentally saved this and all of a sudden all the Naomi ones were going to the Sammy ones too, and it was a mess. So these I had to do each one with the override. So each one is particularly saved with the override, which I assume it put it in the, let me check, in the Raycast folder here. Although I don't think it did, because, or maybe it did. I'm not seeing. Well, yeah, the Dolphin Blue game is here. Okay, yeah, most of the Sammy ones are here, right? That would make sense because I used override for them. So these should open up with the Sammy one. Yeah, see. These are ones I wanted to make for a really long time, but didn't have the time or the resources, so. But eventually things just came together and I got around to them. So so if I put these, the Naomi 2 ones, I don't think I've gotten them to work yet. Anyway, if I save the Naomi, and well, I already did release them as a pack, but I didn't release the configure files for them, so I'll have to update that so you guys can test it out and see if the settings work for you guys, so you don't have to set it up yourselves. Now the game Monkey Ball, I don't know if you're familiar with this problem it has, but the controllers aren't set right. And no matter what, after you set the controllers right, you cannot save it for anything. It will not save the controller settings. I've tried override, I've tried save current configuration, I've tried everything, but it will not save the controller settings. You have to do this every time you start the game. So every time you start the game, you have to go to controls, and you have to go to the access. You have to put 2 plus 1, 2 minus, wait, 1 plus, and then 1 minus, and that's it. You're ready to play the game. Now the controls work. Now everything works wonderful. Beautiful. So that's the video, guys. I hope you understood everything. I know I meander a lot. This isn't scripted. This is off the cuff. But thanks for all the support over the years, guys. I really appreciate it. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.